the long history of the Beatles, George Harrison often felt that their work was not always treated with the respect it deserved. One of the clearest examples came when their albums crossed the Atlantic. In America, several of the Beatles' most important records were, in Harrison's words, screwed up, altered by record executives who placed business above artistry. From the very beginning, the Beatles prided themselves on maintaining complete artistic control. They carefully planned track sequencing, paid attention to sleeve design, and built their albums as cohesive works rather than random collections of songs. But in the United States, those principles were quickly abandoned. Record labels routinely withheld tracks from the UK versions, rearranged song orders, and repackaged material to stretch 2 British albums into 3 American releases. To Harrison, this was nothing less than sabotage of their original vision. One of the clearest examples was the transition from With the Beatles to Meet the Beatles. While the British album stood as a fully realized sophomore effort, the American edition was restructured to emphasize the most commercial tracks. It worked as a fast introduction for new fans, but for Harrison, it was undeniable evidence of how their catalog had been tampered with for profit. Harrison wasn't alone in his frustration. In recordings of their American stadium shows, John Lennon could be heard confusedly introducing songs from albums like Beatles 65 or other US-only configurations, sometimes mocking the strange titles or sequencing. The disconnect between what the band had created in Britain and what was sold in America was impossible to ignore. By the time Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band was released, the group drew a line in the sand. For the first time, they demanded that the record be experienced exactly as they intended, from the opening moments to the final notes. The album wasn't just a collection of songs, it was a complete artistic statement, and they refused to let it be dismantled. History now remembers the American versions of Beatles albums as both a gateway for millions of fans and a source of lasting frustration for the band itself. For George Harrison, they stood as proof that even the biggest band in the world could have their vision compromised. Decades later, his blunt assessment still rings true. Some of the Beatles' albums were, quite simply, screwed up.